Welcome to Widowed Too Soon, where real-life widows and widowers come together to share their stories of survival, faith, and the journey of finding hope in the darkest of times. Whether you're newly widowed or have been on this journey for some time, each week we're here to provide you with inspiration, practical advice, and the reassurance that you are not alone. You were made to not only survive, but thrive. And now here's your host, a woman who has walked this path herself, who finds solace in writing, joy in speaking, and freedom in dancing like nobody's watching. Michelle Bader Ebersole.
Welcome to Widow Too Soon. This is Michelle Bader Ebersole. I am so excited about this podcast. I just got back from a weekend with the Widow Goals leaders. So those are the group leaders within my nonprofit. And we just did an episode about how to create a group because we're looking for more Widow Goals leaders. My goal for 2025 is 25 new locations. I think we're going to blow that out of the water because I just looked and had 15 more applications. So the audio quality is not as good as I wanted it to be, but I'm hoping you can still hear it and get the point because we were doing it outside with these little mics and it didn't work as well as I thought. But I'm so excited for you to listen to this. And there's going to be a form for you to fill out. If you yourself would like to be a Widow Goals leader, we would love to have you. It's a volunteer position, but it's really fun. And sometimes we get together as leaders. So I think you're going to enjoy this episode. Also, if you can see my sweatshirt, it says Empowered Widows, Empower Widows. And you'll see everybody wearing those. Because really what it comes down to is there's only so much we can do on our own, right? But when we help other widows, so what's beautiful about what you're about to see, these women were all baby widows when I met them, little bitty baby widows, just finding their way. And now they are Widow Goals leaders and they're helping other widows. And it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I loved spending the weekend with them and I've loved seeing them blossom. I think you're going to really enjoy this episode because not only do we get things done, we have a lot of fun and we laugh a lot. And we brought this to this episode. So I hope you enjoy it. Oh, and the thing about this sweatshirt, if you like it, it is, there's a link below that you could actually purchase it for yourself. So have a wonderful time listening to this episode. And thanks so much for being a fan. Welcome to Widow Too Soon. This is Michelle Bader Ebersole. And as you can see, I'm here with my friends. I'm so excited. We're on a little widow weekend. We kind of made that symbol up, so you can use it if you want. So we are actually in Scottsdale, Arizona, and this is a girls' weekend for Widow Goals leaders. So as you guys may or may not know, I started a nonprofit a couple years ago, and we started doing local events. And recently, about 3 months ago, for most of them, they decided that they were ready to start their own Widow Goals group. So they actually have their own groups and their own locations. So today we're going to talk about groups, and then we're going to talk about how you could lead your own group if you want to. So why don't we go around and we'll just have a little casual conversation here. Oh, also check out our shirts. Empowered Widows, Empower Widows. I'll put a link in the description if you want to purchase your own. Anyways, so let's just go around and say your name and where you lead a Widow Goals group, and then maybe what it's been like for you.
Okay. I'm Kim. I am from Iowa. I run the Des Moines area Widow Goals group, and it has been something very far outside my comfort zone, but I have been so positively impacted by Widow Goals in general, but then starting my own group and seeing how I can help other people has just been a blessing.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, all of them were baby widows when I met them, and now to just see them going out and being confident enough to start their own groups and help other groups has been amazing. So thank you.
I'm Lanaea. I am located in Glendive, Montana, and I agree completely with Kim on it being something that is outside of my comfort zone. I was very scared at first to do it, but I definitely feel like it's a calling on my heart to help other widows through the same pain and just be able to be there for them. So that's been a really special opportunity. I've grown, the group keeps growing, and that's really exciting. I plan on doing another reach out in our, I went onto our giant group page in the city that I'm from and reached out asking for widows to come that way.
Great way to do it.
And so that helped bring some more people in. So I plan on doing that ever so often to keep like gathering works. Obviously, that as time goes on, more widows a thing. So yeah, awesome. I'm excited to keep this going.
Yeah, and I remember the first time we talked about this, just in our last retreat in October, you were scared to do it because you'd done something before that hadn't really worked out, and then kind of encouraged you to do it anyways, and now it's working.
Yeah,
and it's actually amazing to see.
California. I lead the.
You run it.
You run it.
You run it.
Who run the world?
We're the leaders of the world.
I do spontaneously break into song. Sorry.
And dance.
And dance. Yes. The Contra Costa County Widows. And I just had my first official meeting January 25th. And only one person showed up, but that's perfectly okay. It was a lovely conversation. We talked about a lot. We talked about, future plans, current plans. Her daughter's getting married and how that's affecting her grief. She's actually been a widow for about 13 years. It'll be 2 years in May for me. And it was just a nice time of fellowship, getting together and just, knowing that you're talking to someone who has walked a similar path to you is a big comfort. What I wanted most when I was first widowed was to know that I wasn't weird, or what was happening to me, the feelings, the changes, the brain fog, that was completely normal. And also to see the other side that, people get through this, but not just survive it, but learn to thrive. And that was very important for me to be able to know that there is hope on the other side of this. It's very, and that's one of my motivating factors to participate. I was scared to death of doing this. I'm not the person that, naturally leads a group. I usually end up having to do it. Like, I remember high school projects and stuff. It's like, oh, well, Susan's smart. She can lead all. I hated it. I hate group projects. So.
But here you are.
And here I am. So it's been a lovely experience so far. I look forward to the group growing more and spend some time together, help one another.
Thrive. That's actually the widow tagline. Widows helping widows not only survive but thrive. So we provide a place for you.
Hi, I'm Karin, and my voice doesn't always sound like this.
It's okay.
I'm Karin. I live in Tri-Cities, Washington, which has caused a little bit of confusion because there's Tri-Cities everywhere. Wow. So if you are listening to this and you want to join my group, please live in the Washington one. Otherwise, you'll never make it in time.
True.
I actually started my group prior to Widow Goals. Yes. I had gone to the Widow Goals retreat in October of 2023. My husband passed May of 2023, like Susan, one day after hers. And after that, I was inspired to find my own community locally. I started a group that was a widow and widower group. And then Michelle and I had been talking. And I just really, I think that the tagline, widows, helping widows not only survive but thrive, really just spoke to me. Yeah. And so I have altered my group to then become a Widow Goals Tri-Cities. And I think just echoing everybody here, it's always nerve-wracking to start something, but I'm a little over a year in with my group, And I would say the connections I've made with people have impacted my life so greatly through my grief journey. And I'm so thankful and blessed to have those relationships. And I don't think that I would be where I'm at today without the people, the widowed community that I have been able to be open and vulnerable with and sit and feel safe. And I think that's one of the things that's propelled me to want to heal and not just shut in my home and like hide from the world. So for anybody listening, even though it's scary, even if you're not leading a group, but you want to join a group, just give it a chance. Because even today, Lanaea and I were sitting and talking and crying and laughing and remembering and talking about our futures and everything. And we don't get to hang out, but like the just, I have like widow brain words. I don't always have them, but the connection that you find and the bond that you find is something that you cannot explain. And your friends and family are well-meaning and love you and want you to heal, but there's nothing like a widow sister. And we all got your back. So come join us.
That's awesome. Thank you guys. So a lot of people are like, okay, well, I don't understand, like, what's the commitment? What do we have to do? Where do you meet? So then we kind of talk about some of that. So really, the overview is that you're meeting once a month, and we'll talk about our different locations. It could be home, it could be a coffee shop, like, it doesn't really matter. And then we do different things. Like, if you join us, you have the support of us plus other people, and we'll give you ideas of things to do, but really you have the freedom to do what you want. So I didn't say where I'm at, Vancouver, Washington area, not Vancouver, Canada. We've been doing it a couple years and have a good steady group, so it's been a lot of fun. So we normally, how we do, I thought we could just kind of talk about like what we're doing for our locations, is we meet in different people's homes. Now, we didn't do in the beginning, we didn't know each other. Now we do, and it's gotten to like we're coming around to the second year, so people are like, okay, I'll take July again, I'll do this again, and so we've kind of gotten in a rhythm, not completely. Like this month it's going to be at my house, and we just kind of move around that way. But I've also loved like what Karin's doing. Can you tell them what you do?
We meet once a month now. I mean, at first it was kind of just sporadically as I was able to do it before I was with Widow Goals specifically. But we meet at the same place the second Saturday of every month, and it's called a Country Mercantile, but they have a whole upstairs full of tables. And, you know, honestly, we get usually between like 5 and 10 people. Last month was 14, so hopefully it keeps growing. And we just visit. We have not done things at each other's houses. We do have plans to have events.
Tell them about what your next
we wanted our plan, and my friend Maria, hi Maria, shout out. She's helping me plan a smash room where we go. The ones we're interested, fun. We're going to go outside of our regular meeting and go break some things. So, and we're pretty excited to do that. Maybe that's not everybody's game, but you know, it is for some of us. So, and then we're going to try different things.
We did axe throwing one time. That was really interesting.
Yeah, and one of the gals in my group really wants us to do Northwest Harvest, which is a food sorting, distributing things. And we're also trying to think in our group ways to help each other, resources to find each other. And I think that's one of the huge benefits of getting together in a community is sharing those resources with each other. Because it's difficult to manage things. You don't know all the things you need to do, and you keep finding things that you're like, oh, great. AKA my W4, change your W4s back. Okay, that's
No, I love all that stuff you're sharing. We did Bunko one time. We met up at a park and went walking, and some people had kids, and so I think like changing it up is good. Can you tell us about where you meet right now?
So we meet on Monday evening, second Monday of
every
every month.
third.
So and we just meet at a restaurant. That's worked well so far.
Lanaea, you guys have done a couple different things so far, right?
Yeah, we did a Friendsgiving at one person's house. She was nice enough to open up her home for us, and that was fun. Everybody brought a platter, and we
Mhm.
played Phase 10, and that was a lot of fun. We also did a Christmas party where we did a big saran bowl wrap, and
Oh, that's fun.
everyone brought cookies, and I provided hot chocolate, and we did a gift exchange. That was a lot of fun. My next one, I want to do I guess the next one is going to be a Valentine's dinner or brunch.
I love that.
Because Valentine's Day obviously can be very lonely for us. So, but I really, really want to do an escape room.
Yes,
So
I
I'm really excited
love
about that. I
escape
feel like that would be so
rooms.
fun.
Yes.
Or like wine and painting. That one I feel like would be a really fun one to do.
And that one can be really affordable because there's YouTubes that have, because I've done that at my house with friends.
Really? I've done that where you go.
Just paint, you just buy the easels and you get the paint, and you can do it at home and you don't have to feel.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's a great.
I love that. And then Susan, were you at a coffee place?
Yes. So we decided to go to a place called Bagel Street Cafe. Big space. You could get breakfast there, coffee, and stuff like that. It was a little more on the busy side than I wanted it to be. The last time I'd gone before, it wasn't, and that's why I chose that particular spot. So we may relocate to someplace else. Worst case scenario, I have a clubhouse in my neighborhood that I could
Oh, that would be
utilize.
good.
Oh, that's cool.
But I live kind of out of the sticks, so I feel like Brentwood is a good area to go to because it's more centralized and stuff like that. So, I'm figuring it out, and I'm also picking up like ideas of what you guys are doing. Dance is my passion, so we might find ourselves going line dancing one night. So who knows?
Yeah, we've done that like not as an official thing, but some of us like, hey, I'm going line dancing, and that's what's great. So when you become a Widow Goals leader, you create a page, and you're able to be like, hey, we're going here tonight. Anybody want to go? And you're just what you're doing is you're facilitating a community. You're finding all these people who have this horrible thing in common, but you're providing a place for them to find each other because there's so many in your area that you may not even know. Which is kind of what the next thing I wanted to talk about is how do you guys find your widows? I know for me, most people like send them to me a lot. In the beginning, I didn't know exactly what to do, but now I reach out and send them my page. Hey, we'd love to have you. Here it is. Another thing that we've implemented, you guys might want to do sometime, is when we hear of a new widow in the community, I bring cards, like I buy a whole bunch of cards, and we all sign them for that person. Like all the widows sign them, and
That's a great idea.
Right?
Oh,
So
I
really
love
cool.
that.
Yeah, because then they feel welcome. So I've done that for like maybe 6 months. We've done that. So they'll all sign it with we know the person's name, all that stuff. I get their address, and then I put like, this is how to find us on Facebook. Here's my phone number. Love to see you. And then that way they already have that kind of step into the, so that's something I do when people send me a widow. It's like, okay, next group, we're going to sign this. So people used to send them to me, but I've also gone into my local pages in my area, posted it on my personal page. I believe it was Karin who did that again recently. That you can keep posting it on your personal page. So anyways, let me let you guys talk. Like, how have you guys found people?
Yeah, people send me widows. I would say that Facebook sharing has gotten a lot, and just networking with, because all of my friends know widows. I mean, people know widows. Like, you don't realize how many of us there are. I haven't gone as far as really advertising, but I've been thinking about putting it up at a local community center.
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
I have a friend who shares it on her local community page.
Oh,
So
okay.
we've gotten some people from that. And I think just word of mouth. I mean, because when somebody knows one widow and they find another widow, they're like, hey, will you talk? I do want to say, like, too, you don't have to give out your phone number to everybody or do that.
Yeah,
like,
good point.
don't feel like if you're becoming a new widow, you have to be a widow whisperer. You can, like, do that eventually or not. But I also give out my phone number on my group thing, and that because I'm comfortable with it now. But I didn't at first. I only gave it out to some. So just do what you want to do.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything to say?
I posted on a lot. It was like an Iowa widow. So I posted in that group with administrators. That group didn't meet consistently, so it was a little different. That's where I got most of my people, and they're like,
Same group page.
yeah.
But I feel like one of my benefits is because I live in such a small town, everybody's always talking about everything, and so I listen and I hear if somebody's passed away, I instantly think, oh, were they married? Did they have was it a husband or a wife, or and then I jump on that and I go seeking them, and I reach out and I'm like, hey, guys. So that's kind of how I'm learning about it.
Did one time, I was at the grave visiting Luke, and there was a woman visiting a grave. I didn't talk to her then, sacred space, but I actually went and took a picture of the grave she was visiting and tried to find who she was. I never found her, but I was like, our group. I know it sounds silly, but I was like, she's got to be widowed, probably. I never found her, but that's an idea too. You can go to the grave. I don't really recommend you just hang out there. But I'm just saying.
There's Michelle behind him.
I did try. Hey, are you widowed?
You guys don't have to do that. You don't have to do that.
No. We're not
We're not trying to scare you away. I'm just
breaking any
saying.
laws or.
I was there legitimately there. I wasn't just like going there to find widows. She could.
I was like, it's that time of day, time to go down.
Yeah, just kidding. Anyways, wait, I had another train of thought where I was going to go. One of the things that's different too about widow goals groups is we have the support of each other. A lot of people try to do groups on their own, and you can totally. But what makes this different is you're going to be, if you decide you want to be a widow goals leader, there's going to be a leaders page that you can be on. There may be something in the future where we get together in person as well. But the biggest thing is you're going to have support. You're going to have training videos that are going to tell you exactly what to do. We're going to have a monthly Zoom call that you can be a part of to see what other people are doing and ask questions. So you're not in this alone. And I do have to say this, I forgot to say, this is actually only for women, so widowers, sorry. It's just easier having just a women's only group. But there are great groups out there for men. So what do you think has been like the best part of doing the groups? Like something that, like an interaction you've seen, or I don't know, just like what has been something positive? I didn't warn them with any questions, we're just talking of the group. If you have like something in your head of like, oh, when I saw this happen, or something like that.
I just think the validation is what's so like calling about it, because obviously being widowed is such a lonely, hard spot to be in. And when you find people that you can connect with who understand you, it's like a whole new level of like being heard. And I feel like that's something that widows struggle with in general, is constantly feeling like we're screaming for other people to hear us. And it's a horrible feeling because nobody gets it. So having these little groups that you're building within your community is just, it feels like home, it feels like safety, and it feels like family.
It's true. I would say after my last group, which was the biggest group we'd had, I don't know what had changed specifically. I can't put my finger on it, but I just remember leaving and thinking, my heart is so full right now. And I just was like, all of the stuff I've been working for in that moment felt like it was all worth it. And that all these struggles and the highs and lows of the group, putting together a group in that moment was because that group that day, we laughed, we cried, there were people who brought resources to other people where they were connecting. Since my group's been going on a little bit, I have people who are right around the same time as me, people before, but we're having this new group of widows that are coming in from 2024, and they're finding each other and seeing them in the same spot and having support and love. It just made my heart just burst, and I just felt in the moment validated myself too, that trying this and putting myself out of my comfort zone is what I'm supposed to do. and that it's worth it. And yeah, that validation of being able to sit together and like cry and then laugh, and nobody says to you like, oh my gosh, are you okay? We're all just, we know, we're like, you know, somebody gives you a hug, or they just are like, here's a Kleenex.
Yeah.
And you don't have to say, I'm sorry, which we don't have to say anything, but you know, how you might for other people.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're validated. You're okay to be you.
Yeah.
What a treasure.
It is. Yeah, just watching the people bond. I was just thinking about game nights. We especially love like just seeing your joy and laughter. Sometimes it's the first time they're getting together, people are laughing again. And I think that's one of my favorite things is just seeing that and then seeing them bond together and then just watching this thing that you had a part in creating. And it's like the most rewarding thing. And I think Karin had a good point about it can help in your healing. Like the best way, one of the best ways to heal is to help other people.
Yeah.
You know, and I was going to say, you don't have to wait. Like, you don't have to be a year out. There's no certain amount of time. And Karin was less than a year. I was less than a year when I started doing it. So it doesn't matter. So don't.
I was 5 months.
Yeah. You were like a baby widow. And you like, I loved it. You
6 months.
You went home. Like, no direction. We didn't even have all this.
Yeah, I did meet up. I wouldn't suggest.
Yeah.
I'd go with Facebook.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, you jumped into this. So it's not like you're like, okay, I have to be a year out. Like, we don't have any rules like that. You know, it's like whoever's willing to get people together. And does it take time? Yes. It's a volunteer job. There's no money.
And don't feel like you have to be all knowing and like that you have to be at this point in your grief journey. You can go there and cry too.
Yes.
Like you don't have to be the healer of other people.
Right.
You're getting just as much out of it, out of the community that they are. Like
Well, and a lot of times what's so important is other widows need to see your tears too.
Yes,
they do. They do. Tears are good. Tears are healing. And they show compassion. They show a connection. They show
and
a bond.
vulnerability.
Yes.
And permission to that
feel,
you're okay
yeah.
to feel the way you're
to feel
feeling.
all of it. Because it's all, I mean, all of it, it's so big and tangled. It's a big mess. It's hard. It's a lot. So showing your own emotions, no matter how young you are or new you are in your widow journey is a good thing.
Or how far along you are.
Yeah, it gives them hope as well.
Yeah. Like you could be a widow 20 years out and start a group. Like you could be a widow 2 months out and start a group.
You can be a remarried widow like myself.
Yeah.
Like there's no.
Yeah. Yeah. A different relationship doesn't take away your widowhood.
Right.
Like we were talking before. We'll always be the widow of our husband.
Exactly.
You know, regardless of where our life journey takes us. And you still need support. You still have a grief journey.
Right.
So all are welcome.
Yes, it's been one of the most rewarding things. And then right now we're in this exciting time, and it was just like me for a while because you had your own group, but we weren't really doing it together. And then all of us started, plus a few more than are here. And then now our goal is 25 new locations in 25, and we already have lots of people who are filling out applications.
Do you want to be our one of 25?
Is that a song?
No, I'm making it up.
Do
The
you
singer.
want to be one of our 25?
I'm the lead singer of our
widows
group.
Got this. But we would love if you want to join us. There's going to be an application in the show link. Just ask a few questions, and then I'm actually, unless it's like a million people, calling everybody. I might have you guys help me call if there's a million people, and we're just going to see if you're a good fit for this. Like if you know, make sure you understand it, and that this would be something you want to do. And then you can be part of our group. I mean, I would have loved this when I was a new widow. If there was something already put together, like it's basically like here it is in a box. Like we're gonna do training videos. Like we're literally about to do them,
and it's free.
And it's free. There's the other part.
Free.
But wait, it's free. And there's more. But wait, there's more. And like I'm loving this because I feel like we're like on a mission together to better the world. You know, like we are all on this mission, you know, to, I don't know, feels like widows are like baby widows. They're like my heart. They're like, it's the worst time in your whole life, right? And so I want to be like, here it is. So I started this because there was nothing in my area. I looked everywhere, called all the churches, did all this stuff. Did you know, if you're a podcast listener, you probably noticed that widow is mentioned over 100 times in the Bible, but yet so few churches have any
Yeah.
groups, which I was like, that's crazy. And actually, I ended up, you guys might not know this whole story. I'll just tell everybody. Reaching out to all these churches in my area when I started Widow Goals. And one pastor got back to me, and I met with him. He thought this was the best thing ever. God calls us to take care of widows. All of a sudden, he was like my biggest fan. He's like, this is going to go worldwide. Everybody needs this. And then he passed away. And I actually, it kind of put me into grief. Like, the one person, and I came and spoke at their church. I did an event, and then he passed away, and then I couldn't get a hold of anybody else in the church. And I couldn't even get a hold of Widow. I'm still trying. To like say how much he loved this.
Yes.
But he said this is going to be worldwide, and now I can see it. I just spoke with Taki. Shout out to you if you're out there from South Africa, and she's joining Widow Goals.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Christine in Ottawa, Canada, just said she wants to join in Canada. You know, and then I know a couple of you filled applications. I haven't looked at all of them. But I think this is going to be something big, and it's going to, I believe, help with your healing too. You know, as you help people, you're going to.
Do you want to be a part of changing the world?
Yes.
Be the change.
Anyways, anything else
change, yes.
you want to say about what you do?
Just that it's the best experience, honestly, through this pain, and I couldn't have hoped for anything better than this because, honestly, the bonds that we have created is
it makes me want to cry.
incredible. No, literally, it is like it's like a new home inside my heart, and it's wonderful. So,
and I know 100%, no matter where we all live, if I need something, I can call any one of these girls. I could call somebody in my group. I got people who will understand in a minute.
Yep.
That love me and understand the journey I'm on and won't judge me. It's true. It's also the best part of the worst journey I've ever had. So
right. Yes. So awesome. Yeah, the friendships are huge because you're building this community you're going to make friends with, and then the leaders we create connections.
You might go to Scottsdale, Arizona,
right?
For a widow weekend.
Pool
with a pool and a hot tub,
a little bit of line dancing.
Yes.
it's like what Michelle always says: beauty from ashes.
Beauty from ashes.
True. And I've seen it. I've seen it in all of you. I've seen it in myself. I've seen it in so many people. God will make beauty from ashes, and He will. This is my favorite part. Turn our mourning into dancing.
Yes.
That is my favorite part because it's so true.
Are you gonna link the TikTok?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna link the TikTok. We did TikTok.
We did a dance,
and it was about.
It was pretty amazing.
Women and empowering widows, empower widows, and we're dancing, inspired by my early days of TikToks.
Yes, and empowered widows empower widows.
That's right. Yes.
Be one of us.
Be one of us.
We welcome you with open arms,
So,
and you're not alone.
So, well, I usually end all the podcasts with a prayer. I'm gonna come back. Dear God, I just want to thank you for every woman here on this couch with me in Scottsdale and how you put it on their hearts to open up their hearts to other widows. And I just pray blessings over all their groups and continued healing for them. And we also pray for all the listeners, God, that if they're supposed to do this, you'll put it on their heart and it'll be an easy decision for them. I just pray for peace and joy over all of them. I just thank you this morning.
Amen.
Well, if you like this podcast, give it a little bing, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. Rate and review. If you want to be a guest, there's a link. And I was actually just thinking about it. Almost everyone's been a guest. So you can go back and find Kim, Lanaea, Karin, and then I was thinking we should do an episode with Susan.
We need to do an episode with
Susan.
It's your turn, girl.
It's your turn.
Yeah,
I actually thought about that last night.
Yes.
So, anyways, you can find all of their stories as well. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Widowed Too Soon with Michelle Bader Ebersole. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, rate and review. And we'd also love for you to join our Widowed Too Soon community on Facebook. See you next time.